Man, I have a friend that is exactly like this. Hypertropism, noun, psychology. An exaggerated admiration or attraction to someone that can attain a level of mania or psychosis.
Is that like being attracted to Mars?
Sort of. There's the person I'm thinking of. The person he was attracted to was much crazier than Mars, like levels above. You know.
What was the word?
Hypertropism.
All right, shall we tell the story?
Yes.
So this guy, he's talking about the way in which a pimp sees women. Like the way in which they their outlook on them and just the way they kind of understand them in an objectified way. And he's going, he can look at any woman, he's in a restaurant, he's in a cafe, he's walking down the street, just from one look, just seeing a woman walk or anything, he can give this woman a mileage. And a mileage means this is how many fucks this woman can take before she starts losing it. And she starts kind of going crazy, how long can she work for him? And he's going, he had this woman in his stable, that's what they would call their group of hoes. And this woman, she was his bottom bitch. Now the bottom bitch, she's not the lowest, she's the foundation of his stable. She's the one that's, kind of like his second in command. She keeps all the other hoes in line. But he could tell, his bottom bitch, she was running out of mileage. So he's good, she's coming up to him, she's talking to him about, let's, retire, we got enough money, let's do this, let's go buy a house there, let's do that, I don't know what, things like that. He's going, okay, she's going crazy. And so he's thinking this is a problem. And so, he wants to get rid of her, like he's not gonna stop being a pimp for this woman who thinks that now because she's been with him for this number of years or whatever, she can control his life or something or make him stop being a pimp. He's a pimp. He's Iceberg Slim, And so he goes to her and he tells her, look, okay, you want to leave? You can leave, but you just got to do one last thing for me, one last little job. And she goes, yeah, sure. And he takes her out for a drive and he takes her to in front of this little motel. And he tells her, see that motel over there? You're going to go into that room and there's a guy in that room and I want you to sleep with that guy. And then once he's sleeping, after you fuck him, put this little powder in his drink. Okay, and that's going to put him to sleep. That's going to put him in a deep sleep. And then you're going to reach under his bed, you're going to grab a briefcase, don't even open it. Just bring that briefcase over to me. And she goes, okay, Poppy, I don't know what, She gets out, she gets into that motel, he's waiting for her, she's been in there for half an hour and a half, he's thinking, okay, something's wrong, like why is he taking so long? Eventually she comes out and she goes, hey, I don't know, I think there's a problem, like this guy, he's just not moving, he's not doing anything, I don't know what, this and that. And he's going, what do you mean? And she goes, I don't know, but he doesn't look like he's alright, and he tells her, well, how much of the powder did you put in his drink? She was like, put all of it. And he goes, well, you shouldn't have put all of it. That's some stupid shit, like you should have put a little bit in there. Why'd you put the whole thing? And he goes up and he's checking on me. He goes, yeah, this guy, he's dead. Like you killed this guy. And she starts freaking out and he goes, look, don't worry, I'll take care of it, okay? I'll take care of it. Just wait, okay? And he goes and he walks with her over to a phone booth right in front of the motel and he opens up that phone and he calls these guys and he gets back into the room and he waits. And then this van shows up and these guys come out of the van and they come to the room and he takes the briefcase she took from under the bed and he opens it and there's more money in that briefcase than she's ever seen in her life. It's just full of cash. It's a big fat briefcase. And he pulls out a few wads of cash from it and he gives them to to these guys and they roll this dead guy up in a carpet and they carry him into the van, they put him in the van and they drive away. And then he goes and he sits with her in the car and he tells her, yeah, you kind of fucked up. You've sort of done some dumb shit here. This guy wasn't some nobody, like people are, it's gonna be hot from now on and you're gonna have to lay low. So while that happens, just stick with me, okay? Just stick with me maybe for a few more months because right now it's dangerous for you. So I'm gonna take care of you for a bit more, even though you wanted to go. I'm sorry, but That's just how it's gonna have to go. And while you're with me, you might as well just work. And so she goes, okay, whatever you say, I'll do that. And so she works for him for another few years. And that whole thing was just set up by him so that he could get this woman to continue working for him with no complaints whatsoever. That was all his money in the briefcase. He put that briefcase in there, that was all his cash. That guy was some guy he hired. The guys in the van were some guys he hired. This was all just this elaborate ploy conducted by him just to keep this woman employed under him. Yeah.
What a genius.
This was a pimp in the 50s?
Yeah. So this guy, his name is Iceberg Slim. And the story he tells where he got his name from is one time he was sitting in this bar and a shootout happens behind him. And while he's taking a drink, he just suddenly feels his hat fall off and continues drinking. But apparently what had happened was a bullet went through his hat and shot his hat off, and he just continued drinking. So he was so cool, everyone around him started calling him Iceberg, and then he was really skinny, so Iceberg Slim. Yeah. It's a good book, you know, and it's not glorified in life. Like he's someone who left it and he looks back on it, and he talks about how the reason he was so cool was because he went through a lot of shit, like he doesn't shootout happening, he's gonna face him, like his hat falls off, whatever. Like he's been not cool many times in that book, but there are also some nice stories in there to tell.
Cuando todo el mundo se iba y nos quedábamos los dos entre vasos vacíos y ceniceros sucios. Qué hermoso era saber que estabas ahí como un remanso, sola conmigo al borde de la noche, y que durabas, eras más que el tiempo, eras la que no se iba, porque una misma almohada y una misma tibieza iba a llamarnos otra vez, a despertar al nuevo día, juntos, riendo, despeinados. Pause it if you want the English.
Good night, man.
Buenas noches.
Fröhat. Habibi. We should check out With Null and I.